Okay, we're going to start Classwork Exercise 3. You need to right click, copy this folder and paste it into your home directory, so you've got a copy of all these files. After you've copied it in home directory, you can open the folder and you'll notice it contains these files, including the task suite CE3.doc, which you can open, and you should be able to see in there this information, that this Classwork Exercise has 6 tasks. We're going to talk about the first 3 tasks now. We're going to be repeating some of the things you did last week on the library database. If you want to pause the video and read through the tasks 1 to 3 now, that's a good idea. We're going to open Access, and we're going to create a blank database. I'm going to call it CE3 Access Database. And what we're going to do is import some data. We're going to import 2 data files. So go to external data, like we did last time, text file, and we're going to import some data from CE3 folder. So I'm going to my CE3 folder, and I'm looking in there, and there are 2 CSV files I want. The members CSV file, I'll open that, and that's okay. There's the data. I want the first row to contain the field names. I want the membership number, it's highlighted there. I want the membership number to be my primary key, so I select choose your own primary key, membership number. Next, finish. Close that, and then I've got members. I will repeat this text file, browse now, not just for the members, there's another data file here called books. I'm going to import this comma separated variable file, and I'm going to OK that. There are the books, the authors, the number. The first row contains field names, never forget to select that. There's the book number, which I'd like to choose my own primary key again. Now book number is unique, that's my primary key. And finished, that's gone into books. Close. At this point it'd be good for you to take a screen dump, and you can click on the members and you'll see the members there. You can click on books, you can see the books there. So go back to members and you'll see that I've got 20 members here, and if you take a screen dump you can paste these results into a Word file. So I've got a Word file here, and you can see I have pasted in the books, and I've written in here I have imported 2 CSV files. The data is now stored in 2 database tables called books and members. Now we'll go back to the database. One of the things we're interested in doing is an alphabetic sort, and I like to alphabetically sort the surnames. You notice next to surname there is a little down arrow. If you click on the down arrow, you've got options to sort A to Z or Z to A. I select A to Z. Now all the names are sorted in alphabetical order, A to Z. And again, you can do a screen dump of that, go to your Word file and paste that in there, which I've done, and type I have completed an alphabetic sort based on surname. I'll go back to the Access database. You could select first name, of course, and you could do a sort, alphabet sort on first name, surname, sex, date of birth, street, town. It'll do its best to sort it into order. Just to tidy up here, I notice I've got an empty table here as a blank one. It's not one that I want to use, and you can right click on that, and I think I should be able to delete it. No, I can't delete it there. Select the table and close it there. There you go, I'll close it. So I've just got these 2 tables here. We're now going to do some validation techniques. If we go back to home, you'll notice we've got these 2 tables of data, books, click on books, click on members. There is something called view here. If you look on the arrow below view, you'll see there are two ways of viewing data. We've got the data sheet view, which is the data, and to click on the design, you'll see the design of that data. And you can actually toggle between the two by, click on save. You can toggle between the two by pressing on view, you see the design, press on view, see the data. And it'll jump back and forth. I'm interested in looking at validation rules, and I'm going to introduce 3 validation rules, one on the date of birth, one on the sex, and one on the street field, to make sure fields are added which are valid. The first validation rule, I'm going to select, where is it? Date of birth, and I'm only going to allow date of births which are greater than the 1st of January 2000. And if anything's entered before then, there's going to be an error message, which I'm going to type in the validation text. Date of birth must be for members after the 1st of the 1st, 2000. There's the date of birth validation rule. Don't worry about the hashes, it'll introduce those for you. So I've got the rule and the text message if that's wrong. Now I'm going to select on sex, and I'm going to introduce the validation rule for sex as well. You can see I've entered M or F. That's the only rule that's the validation rule. Only M or F is acceptable. Otherwise it's going to say invalid. Gender must be M or F. And by the way, the field size here, it doesn't need to be 255 characters. It's Boolean, so it can have a field length of 1. And so that is the sex done. And now we're going to street. And street, I would like to make sure we've got a rule here which checks that it's not empty. So I'm going to enter in is not null, which basically means that we've left the street field empty, and that's no good. No street has been entered. So now we've got validation rules on sex, date of birth, and street. And I'm going to save the table. Some data might be lost if they don't obey those rules. And we've gone back here, we've got our 20 addresses, and now what I can do is try and add a new record at the bottom and see if the validation rules come into play. Oh yes they do. Gotta be male, and if I put 1/1/1967, oh dear, it's gotta be after 2000. And oh, no street has been entered. Okay, let's go back and enter a street. You're right. So you can see how the validation rule has checked these things. It'd be good for you to do some screen dumps just to prove that your validation rules are working. Right, we're going to task 3, which is to add a simple query. We're going to design a query to search all the books by a specific author and save the list for library members who are interested in that author. Now this is really important for databases, to be able to search based upon specific questions. So we're going to need to go back to home, and we're going then to go to create. So click on create, and you'll see here there's an option here for query design. I'm going to click on query design, and you'll see that it's opened up a box telling me that there are 2 tables available to me, and I'm going to be querying the books table. So I'll add that, and I'll close that, because I'm interested in looking at this books table. And what I can do is add some fields in here. See the down arrow? Click on the down arrow. I'm interested in the authors, and I'm interested in the name of the book. So I'll click author there. If I click here, another down arrow appears. I'm actually interested in the title of the book. And there's a criteria. I'm interested in authors that are like Dr. Star. Now that doesn't mean Dr. Star, it means Doctor followed by anything. That's called a wildcard of star. And I can run this query. See this exclamation mark at the top? If I click on that, you'll see that it's come back and said in all those books there are some books that are written by Dr. Seuss, and these are the titles on the books. And if I move the mouse very carefully, I'd be able to open that field, and I can't do it at the moment. There it is. I can open that field and you can see the full names of the books. It'd be good if you took a screen dump, like I've done, and put the list of the 9 books and type here is a simple query which shows all the books by the authors beginning with Dr. Star. We're going to right click now on the Query 1 tab, and you see it says Save. We can actually give this a good name so I know what it means later on, because this query is asking the question, please list all the books by Dr. Seuss. So I do OK, and there you see we've got 2 tables of data. We've got a query to find out books by Dr. Seuss. I can easily click on these tabs and go back to the tables or go back to the query. Again, this is data view. Remember, there is 2 ways of looking at this. I can look at the design view, and there's how we designed the query, and if I click on that, there's the data. Design, data. That's the end of task 3, sorry. Now we're going to finish there, and we'll record a new video for task 4, 5 and 6.